Welcome to Chatterbox Bearcats. I am your host, Nick Niehaus, joined by Eric Lilly. It is the midweek show, and it also is, oh boy, it is Crosstown Shootout week. Cincinnati on the road at the Cintas Center, a place that has not been kind to the Bearcats for the last 2 decades, playing a bad Xavier Musketeers team. Lily, how are we doing? I know it's been a rough week, but we have a good week leading up until what could be devastating Friday night or uplifting.
Yeah, that Friday is going to be, for the people who have fully turned on the program, it's an opportunity for closure. if that's what you're looking for. I personally want to beat Xavier every year, no matter what. I don't give a crap about the other stuff. Like that, this is a big game for us. If we don't turn it around and the season spirals out of control, I would like to have this win be like just the one cool thing that happened. So that would be great. But I have a question for you, Niehaus. This is the annual Monday, Tuesday before the shootout. Has the shootout lost its luster?
You know what, Lily?
Questions here.
You know what, Lily? It actually might have this year. I think it actually might have. I think this is the year. If there was ever a year to ask that question, this is the year to say yes. I was actually, and I'll give you the floor, but right back. But I was actually listening to Mark Titus on his podcast, and he had a funny comment. He's like, "I'm not trying to be rude or mean or whatever, but nobody outside of Cincinnati really cares about this rivalry." And there's something beautiful in that. And I'm like, man, he's probably true. He's probably
not right
true.
now.
He's probably right this year specifically. If there was ever a year, I mean, this is a rough one, Lily.
The sickos like it, but this year there's not really much reason for the sickos to tune in, unless they're not going out on Friday night with their buddies. Tune in, see what happens. It might be incredibly entertaining. You never know, but the stakes aren't as high with, competing for. It doesn't seem like either team's going to make the tournament right now. A lot can change fast, though, as we've seen. So, and I do want to point out, like the lost its luster thing that happens every single year since I can remember. It always cracks me up at the tone of its delivery. Like I saw a Reddit post this week, and then we see the Cincinnati.com article every year. It's like it's always delivered like I invented this take. Like I'm the first person that's ever thought of this, that the shootout is losing its luster, even though it's posted every year by multiple people and people still care. We smack talk our family members all week, our close friends from high school that we never talked to. This is the 1 week a year we text them. It's a big game. And stop writing the damn article, guys. Or no. How about this? Stop clicking on it so that they stop writing it. There we go.
Yeah. It'll never lose its luster for me. No. I mean, I just downright hate Xavier. I despise it. It's always the most angst I feel during a game, specifically because, we haven't won very much recently except for last year. Last year was actually the first shootout I've ever been to in person, which is crazy. Now, I know, right? I mean, I lived away for about 9 years, before that. So that was, a long chunk of my life. And then before that, I was a kid and, I just never got taken to one. Anyway, the feeling you have when that ball is tipped in the Crosstown Shootout is like no other. You more so don't want to lose rather than you want to win. You don't want to lose to the other team. Like if you lose to Xavier, it is downright embarrassing every single year, especially, and I don't want to, this could reach a bad crowd. This could be, I mean, this is the internet, Lily, but like,
they're going to be watching. Be careful.
Especially after the year they've had where they have 800 freshmen coming in, not a great NIL. I guess they have $6 million in NIL. What's that? About half of what we paid for our roster. Like it's not a good time to be a Xavier Musketeer. And if we beat them on Friday night, we make their season. Like this, I don't want to go through the whole, this is their Super Bowl take every single year, what Mick Cronin always made it seem like, what, our fans always coped with. I will not cope with that after the fact, but leading up to this game, this is 100% their biggest game of the year this year, because nobody who is a Xavier Musketeer fan thinks this team is any good. But if they beat Cincinnati, that is a success for this bad team of theirs. Is that fair? I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, it's mostly fair. They're in the honeymoon phase with Pitino. It's looking rough for this season, obviously, and winning this game, kind of, and then like maybe being fun, if their fans like see a trajectory, like, oh, we're getting better. If you do both of those things, it's a good season, and if we win Friday, it's kind of almost guarantees that Xavier's going to be heading into year 2 with like, hey, we need to see something here, because year 1 was really bad. Now, obviously, it's really early. They could turn it around. They just seem so far out of it to me with their out of conference that they won't be an at-large. But you never know, especially in the Big East. If UConn slips up, that thing is wide open. That tournament, the Big East tournament, would be wide open if UConn slips up, in my opinion. So
yeah, I'm saying they're a bad team now. They're playing a lot better than they did 2 weeks ago. Like, this is not as bad of a team as I thought. They are top 100 in Ken Palm, but like, still, like, I'm talking to all my Xavier buddies, and I don't have a lot. I don't want to, our Bearcats, our Bearcat fan base. Let's not act like I'm some traitor here, but talking to them, like, they still like aren't unrealistic about what this team's going to be. Like, I'm like, hey, do you like some of the guys on your team? They're like, yeah, there's a couple guys I like, but like, let's keep it real. Like, on a good team, they wouldn't be our number 1 or number 2, right? Like, we're excited about these guys, but I'm realistic about the fact that this is not a tournament team. And again, I want to reiterate that I hate the take. I hate it that this is their Super Bowl and we just don't care as much. I mean, that is an absolute joke. That's one of our former coaches like saying that, and it's just like it bleeds into the fan base. And it's just because they whooped our, tails every single year for the past 15 years. I mean, we haven't won at Cintas Center since the early 2000s. Now is the time to change that. Like, despite how bad we feel about our team right now, I still am confident that we can go in there and get the win. And that's not saying much. That's not even like a crazy take. Like, we have the better players. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah, they look better like as a team the last week. But we do have better players. I think a lot of their fans would even admit that. But the scary thing about this game to me, and this is true even before we lost to Eastern Michigan, is how like high variance Xavier plays. Like, they're the type of team, they are gonna upset someone this year out of nowhere because they chuck it from 3. They absolutely chuck it. They shoot the ball well. But they're a really weird team. So like, I don't think they're going to be like keep shooting near 40% from 3 all season and just become this team that came out of nowhere and made the tournament. But they are going to kill a giant or two. Maybe they'll get UConn at home or something like that, because they shoot a ton of threes, they make a ton of threes, and they limit opponents' threes. So it's just a 3 versus 2 thing. This is how I said every mid-major, if you want to like try to make a run and be like that Cinderella that can then like capitalize off that, this is how you should design a team. Obviously, it's not going to work in the Big East if your talent level is not high enough, which I think is the case this year. But these teams get hot. And I was scared of it before we lost Eastern Michigan because they have a 5-out, like their 4 shoots threes, their 5 shoots threes. They make them. Honestly, like, I think one of those guys is, Borovicinen, the 4 that shoots threes. He's been missing them at a crazy clip, and he did not miss them last year. So there's a little regression that could pop up, and we all know when that's going to pop up, don't we, as UC fans? I feel like we lose the 3-point battle with these guys every single year the past 20 years. I'm sure that's not true, but that's what it feels like. So the fact that they are that 3-point shooting team just has me nervous all week because,
that's the way to beat us. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's the way to beat anybody, like you said.
Especially when you have a little less talent. And the one I will say, I noticed some things about their Ken Palm profile is just really weird. between that and how horrible they are at scoring twos. They score twos 342nd in the country at scoring percentage of points as twos, which is almost last, and 44.9% 2-point percentage, almost last. They get blocked 13.4% of possessions, almost last in the country. They do not score at the rim. They don't shoot twos. This is a 3-point shooting team. We have a shot blocker. I really, if we're getting beat at the rim on Friday, it's game over because Xavier doesn't do that.
Yeah, hey, they shoot at 38% from 3-point land. And I want to go through like each individual player because, you know, I don't know. I guess I could look up how many each person takes, right? But Trey Carroll, their leading scorer, which that actually shocks me that Trey Carroll is their leading scorer, the way they talk about Jovan Milicevic. Say, yep.
Milicevic?
Milicevic. Milicevic. That's right.
Milicevic.
So I like the way the people I talk to have been saying that he is definitely their best player. So when I clicked Xavier stats, because I haven't all year, and I saw Trey Carroll as their leading scorer, that kind of shocked me. Anyway, 3-point percentage, Trey Carroll, 39.5. Roddy Anderson, 37.8. Milicevic,
44.
Okay, I think I swapped Borovichinen. That's why I was like, did he shoot better last year? Because Borovichinen is shooting 17%. He's not a bad shooter.
Mm-hmm. So, he shot 32 at New Mexico, which isn't great, but we know he can shoot over 17%. Yeah.
And then Allright is shooting 50%. Malik Messina Moore, who I thought was going to be their 3-point shooter coming into the year, is 26.7%. And then Isaiah Walker, 42%. Isaiah Walker plays 13 minutes a game, so it's not. I doubt he's getting that many shots up. But
and that guy, when he shoots, his shot is so weird. You're gonna think it doesn't go in, but he makes them. It's
42%.
Yeah, you'll like flinch when he shoots. You know those guys that's like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. He's one of those shooters.
All right, Lily. I wasn't gonna do this. Talk about us this soon, but just staggering statistics when talking about Xavier versus Cincinnati. Oh, look at the 3-point percentage from Cincinnati. Let's go through it. We are 31, so they got us by 7% as they shoot 38. Baba Miller, our leading scorer, 12% from 3. Day 50% from 3. My goodness. He takes a lot too, so that's really good to see. He's taken 48 threes. He's made 24 of them. All right, so 50% from Day. Sean Abayev, this has got to get better. 24.5% from 3 for Sean Abayev. Chom, 10%. Lily, I'm going to hold you to that because we thought he was going to shoot. You promised me he could shoot.
Maybe he was saving it for the shootout, man.
Yeah. Sincere Harris, 20%. Kirk Creesa, 34%. Jordy Rodriguez thought he was a shooter, 29%. Celestine, 29%. Thought he was a shooter. Tillery, 33%. He obviously hasn't taken a lot. It's night and day when it comes to who can shoot the ball. And, as bad as we thought Xavier was and as good as we thought we were a few weeks ago, and now we've come to realize, obviously, after losing to Eastern Michigan and really struggling in nearly every single bye game, except maybe a couple that were not that good, or at least to this point, I'm kind of worried about Friday night when 2 weeks ago, if you would have given me even odds, I would have been suckered into a large wager. Not anymore.
Yeah, we're probably going to be underdogs here by like a point or two, I think. Ken Pom has UC by 1. It's at Xavier. I'm going to say Xavier's favored by 1 or 2 is my guess.
Well, yeah. What did you say? You just mentioned Ken Pom that he has Xavier as a 1-point win.
Oh yeah, he has Xavier by 1. Yeah, so maybe it'll be 2 or 3 Xavier. Usually Vegas is really close to Ken Pom.
Yeah,
not always dead on, but another thing about Xavier is they don't turn the ball over. So they shoot a bunch of threes, don't turn it over, don't score at the rim. They play fast. they're huge, by the way. So like they don't have rim protection thing is a little odd, but I really think like both teams are so weird right now that looking at these numbers is kind of, it's kind of stupid. And that's coming from me, like the numbers guy of the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is like, to me, this is where you find out if Kirk Risa, Sincere Harris, Day Thomas, Abayev, this is where you find out like if we have more dogs than them type game. I honestly think it's a really, really nice that we're getting out of Fifth Third Arena. That building is pretty negative right now. It's not exactly a great place for players to play and like get out of a funk. Like, so honestly, playing at Xavier, getting wound up by the fans, I think it's perfect for this year, honestly, with this team. It doesn't mean we're going to win the game, but I really want to see them, like, if we are going to have a decent season this year, it has to start on Friday. And maybe that environment just lights a fire.
Absolutely. Speaking of an environment that's going to light a fire, Lily, it's going to be a good time now to plug our live show at Martino's on Vine Friday night, starting at 7 p.m. The Chatterbox Bearcats crew will be on location. We're going to have a pregame show starting at 7, a watch party during the game, and then, of course, we will have our post-game show following right after a 4-man weave, just like we did for Kansas. Lily, I mentioned it on the last episode. We had the Martino's miracle against Kansas, Sorsby's only game-winning drive in a Bearcat uniform. That's certainly something. Noah Jennings, thank you very much. Maybe we'll have a Martino's Miracle Friday night, But anyway, make sure you guys come out. It's going to be a fun time. And, Martino's. Thank you for sponsoring us. Thank you for hosting us.
The basketball equivalent of a Noah Jennings one-handed grab is going to be who's going to do it for us on Friday? Let's think about this. Is it really going to be a Chom 3? Is that what it is?
That's the first thing that came into my mind, but I think Chom is too important.
A Sincere Harris 3. There we go.
Not hating on Noah Jennings, but I think Chom is I think he's already too key of our team. I think maybe it's like at this point a Tyler McKinley 3. You know what I mean?
Something like that.
I think a Tyler McKinley 3.
You never know in the shootout. This is why it's like it almost feels stupid doing a preview show for this game because just look at the series. It's just that's why it's a big rivalry. It goes out the window. The last time we beat these guys at Cintas was one of the worst teams I can remember as a UC fan, and Xavier was good that year. And that's just funny because like you'd think one of the times we had a better team we would have won there, and nope.
Yeah, no. You know what? People at Martino's on Friday are going to see a different side of me because this game just does something to me, man. Like
me too.
I can't stand Xavier. I can't stand him. Like even my friends who are fans, like I hate my friends that are fans of them. I hate them all.
That's why it's a beautiful rivalry.
I told you, and I'll probably bring this up every single Crosstown Shootout episode for the people who didn't listen last year. I mean, Lily, this game, I got clowned at my own wedding. Like my best man is a Xavier fan, season ticket holder. And he's like, he said in his speech, he said, I know I can always count on Niehaus, especially December 12th, 2023, December 8th, 2022, November 29th, 2021. Anyway, he just listed the 5 dates in a row that X beat UC. And
that's unethical.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Best man.
What? I should have gone up there and ripped the mic out of his hands. But yeah, no, this game does something to me. So people at Martino's are going to see a different side of me. And you guys will too. I've never watched a game with you guys. It's a scary sight, especially when we're playing Xavier.
And one thing's for certain is you're getting the same Chuck you get from Georgia State as you're getting for Xavier. It's always a roller coaster with Chuck. But I think me and you, it might be different Definitely me. This is a big game. And I hate the Super Bowl thing. It's like, it's a freaking rivalry game. Both fans care. Like, we don't need to make fun of who cares more. Like, it's what it is. It just kind of negates. It feels like you're bringing it down together rather than just being like, yeah, this is a big game, guys.
And I don't, okay, like I might get like some hate for what I said earlier when I said, like, if there was ever a year for it to be their Super Bowl, it's this year. I'll stand by that I think that's probably true, that they'll probably not have a great season in the Big East, and a win over us will, obviously be a very bright spot of their year. That's obvious. Even they would admit that. You're right though. Like, that is the worst take that anybody can have, is, that we don't care as much as they do, because I absolutely do. You just got to beat them. Just beat them, please. Please beat them.
It's soft. It's like, just because we have had a bad run of recently doesn't mean we don't care as much, guys. It means you're saying that because we've had a bad run recently, you look soft. Yeah, that's how absolutely. I look at it. So 100%. when it changes, you're gonna change what you said. But there are a couple of things like I wanted to bring up that I noticed was, we have this top 5 defense right now, 4th in KenPom, and we're watching these games. We know KenPom's just a computer. It doesn't feel like a top 5 defense, right? Like, it feels like we should have a really good defense, but we're giving up a bunch of open threes. And like, that's the scary thing. Like, we have a number 4 defense in the country. I should feel a little more confident going into this game, but 36.7% of our opponents' points are from the 3-point line. They're shooting 31%, which isn't like a horrible percent or like a great percent, but that's a lot of percentage. That is 48th out of 360 or whatever it is. So teams are getting looks from 3. And I've always been a believer that the best way to guard the 3 is to just limit how many 3s are taken. Like, feels like a fluky stat to me. They're jumpers, they're further away. So the fact that we don't really limit them and Xavier shoots a bunch of them, it's just that miserable fan experience of like waiting 2 seconds to see what's going to happen. And like we're just talking about the 3 last year that could have, done very bad things for our lives if Fremantle made that 3.
I can't believe he missed it. I truly can't believe he missed it.
I would have bet so much money that was going in.
Yeah.
And like, did we use all of our luck up on that one moment? Let's find out on Friday. But it's just a weird position to be in as a fan, is that like, we have this really good defense and I don't feel confident about it heading into a game against a bad team that shoots a lot of 3s.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? Let's push Xavier to the side, because we'll get a lot more Xavier talk later this week, as we're going to drop a couple shows. You haven't talked basketball in a while, since Eastern Michigan.
Oh.
How are we just feeling in general?
Calculated. I just fall off the map when things go wrong.
Yeah.
I'm very patient with coaches. That's one of my my things, because I think coaches deserve time. But that Eastern Michigan game felt like a turning point to me. And the fact that it happened this early in the season, which obviously it's Eastern Michigan, we're not going to play them in February, but the fact that it happened this early probably gets the ball rolling with certain things regarding looking at other coaches or sending feelers out. And I think it makes Wes be in a situation where he has to drastically overperform the rest of the season to save his job, is how I look at it. Like, to me, if you don't lose any stupid games, make the tournament, he's probably getting another year, right? Yeah. But if you do this in November and then you barely make the tournament, it's just like, we kind of know what we got here. Like, that you pushed everything over the edge in November, talk started, and we made a lot of traction with a couple of coaches we like. So we're going to make the move. Stuff like that's kind of how I feel about the situation right now. I'm still different than most fans, because I think they could turn it around. The last time we went to the Sweet 16, we lost to Presbyterian and Marshall in the same week. Obviously, different team. That team was good. This team probably isn't. But we do have talented players, and if they all get better, it's possible. So ask me in a week. This game Friday is kind of it. I think if you lose this game, I know you go on the road after this. We play Georgia. But if we lose to Xavier and beat Georgia, that environment for Alabama State, Lipscomb, Houston, it's not like different. You kind of have to win both of those games, honestly. But winning at Xavier does buy you a little grace, in my opinion, especially if you end up getting in the tournament, which doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. Hey, that year we lost to Presbyterian and Marshall. That was the year of the fight, right?
Yep.
Oh, maybe.
We've got some fighters on this team. You never know.
Who's gonna throw the first punch on Friday night?
I've got some guesses.
Yeah, right. So what do you make of the Jizzle situation? I mean, they have him at the game. Well, I don't want to say they have him at the game, but he's at the game. And then he's put up on the Jumbotron. He's obviously a student at the university, not a basketball player. Kind of run through that.
I don't think he's going to play. I've been saying this since the rumor started. I mean, I just don't get why it's even talked about so much. Our roster's full. He is recovering from I don't want to speculate too much about what happened, but it's very clear that something happened. And if something like that happens and you miss preseason, you miss the beginning of the season, you're away from the team, you don't just get jumped back in and you're fine. Like these guys are basically professional athletes at this point in their regimen, in their routine. They're training with the team every day. They're working with the coaches every day. Just being thrusted into the season doesn't seem like something you should do to someone that went through whatever he went through. That's how I look at it. And it has never even crossed my mind that he could come back and play this year, because I was just hoping he would be able to play basketball again. So that's how I look at it. But, some people just say, throw him in there. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. Also, I don't know. We have guards.
They're on the team.
Yeah, we have a couple guards. They're on the
team.
We
have a couple guards. They exist. Yeah. One of them shooting 50% from three. All right. Do we have much more to cover about the shootout?
I have one other thing I wanted to talk. Just one, that is they kind of have so Xavier's been a really good defensive rebounding team this year. They're 35th in the country. And it's all Borovicinen. They're four-man. He's the one that hasn't been making threes. We're going to miss these guys up all game, by the way. Mm-hmm. He is top 30 in the country in defensive rebounding rate. He's been getting all of them. He's why they're top 35. And it's kind of like a single point of failure thing to me. Like, if we can get that guy in foul trouble, it could be our path to getting on the boards a little more. I just, honestly, we talked in the summer and before the season about how this is probably going to be a bad offensive rebounding team. It has been very bad. We're 224th in the country in offensive rebounding. We weren't crashing the boards while losing late to Eastern Michigan. We were losing at home to Eastern Michigan, and we weren't crashing the boards on offense. We weren't even getting close to contesting offensive rebounds in that situation. So maybe if that guy Borovicinen gets in foul trouble, it's something we can attack, because I don't really think they're that great of a rebounding team past him. And in theory, I know Baba Miller, we were kind of relying on him. He's back now. He's a decent offensive rebounder. Chom was a good offensive rebounder last year. He's been horrible this year. I don't know if that's scheme or what. So, we do have some guys there that can get their paws on offensive rebounds. Just something to watch on Friday.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. I was watching in person against Tarleton State, and I think it was a 3-point shot. Either way, it was a jump shot. And all 4 guys around the perimeter, which everybody's around the perimeter except one, because that's the way Wes Miller runs his offense. We have no passes within the 3-point arc. Everybody's outside. We just pass around, run around, don't do anything. Anyway, let me get to my point. Shot goes up. 4 dudes run back. The ball spurts out, and Sean Abayev is just luckily near it. You know, it was one of those things. Everybody's running back. Sean Abayev himself is running back. And then he realizes, oh, the ball's actually, going over the heads of the Tarleton State defenders. I'm just going to pivot and go run and get it. And I'm like, what luck was that where everybody's running back? Nobody's crashing the boards. Nobody cares to even give an attempt to go get an offensive rebound. And we lucked into one. And honestly, the fact we did that really upset me.
And I think it's probably an instruction. I know no coach is going to come out and say like they don't want to rebound offensively, because it would be dumb to say that out loud. But there are plenty of good coaches out there that don't consistently rebound the ball well on offense, because they made a decision that getting back on defense, helps with transition defense.
Yeah.
It helps get your defense set. And I like a middle ground here, like where you trust your players a little to make a decision based on where the jumper is taken, how it might be coming off the rim. Like there's all sorts of ways to offensive rebound. Like look at the shit we give up. Just sometimes we have 4 guys under the rim and the ball hits the corner of the rim and goes right to that one guy that kind of felt it coming. And it's one game on Friday. So it would be nice to grab a couple O boards, get some easy buckets. And man, I'm dreading this game, Niehaus.
Oh, I hate it.
They have like this tone, this house money tone, which, rightfully so. They've won more recently than we have, and they're in their first year with Pitino. It's a little louder this year of like, they're just sitting there waiting for us, and they feel like they're going to win, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I know this is going to be a brutal one. I don't know. I think we can win. I mean, Hudson, guaranteed it on, last night's show. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
Xavier fans, go after Houdini.
Yeah, don't go after me saying it was your Super Bowl. Because it's mine. It's mine too. It's both of ours. We have to win. It's truly, like I said at the start of the show, like there is no other feeling than watching this game as a Cincinnati fan. Like a whole year of having to hear it or getting to say it. That's what's on the line. And goodness, Lily, if Zach Fremantle made that shot last year, we'd be in a dark place this week.
Yeah, we're already in a dark place, but holy Moses.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we won 2 in a row was 96.
Oh my God.
That's the craziest thing about this is like, you win 2 in a row. It's coming back home next year. And it's like, wow, we've never been in this position. It's like, holy crap, we can do 3 in a row.
I wasn't born. I wasn't born in 96.
Yikes. I'm old.
We've never won 2 in a row in my life. All right.
Hey, that's something to celebrate on Friday. If we do
hey,
we
come to
can,
Martino's. We're we're either gonna drown our sorrows or have a great time. So, all right. Do we want to talk
therapy session?
Do we want to talk football a little bit?
Yeah, let's do a quick one.
It's
5
National
minutes.
Signing Day. Probably not going to cover National Signing Day on air. If you want to know what happened on National Signing Day, we flipped some recruits from the MAC. There you go.
We might lose 1 or 2, and yeah.
We're a portal school now for sure. I feel like I could get us in trouble for saying what. Well, no, there's no trouble I can be in from now. I mean, we already.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a strategy we've chosen. I think
we're already blacklisted. Anyway,
I think. I just remember being so excited for National Signing Day back in the day. I sound like a boomer right now, but it used to be really fun. The portal has kind of ruined it for like programs like us, I think. And don't get me wrong, I think we have the right approach to our portal and high school. Like right now, while we're leveling up into the power conference, I think the right decision is to not invest a bunch of money in freshmen who aren't going to play because they're not going to play. Develop your players, develop your 3-stars, find your hidden gems, and then spend all your money in the portal, and then spend all your other money retaining the players that ended up being good. That is the model that we need to have. We do have that model. So I don't think we're, run by a bunch of idiots. We have a pretty clear plan on what's going here. It's just we haven't capitalized on it this past season for sure. So yeah, not too excited for signing day. We'll sign some guys. Obviously excited for them. This is a big day in their life. But to me, I'm already thinking about the portal, Niehaus. Like I got my spreadsheet ready, sending out some feelers. Sounds like we're gonna have some guys leaving. Not surprising. So we're gonna have to completely overhaul this team in the next 2 months.
You know what? I love the portal. It'll be fun to watch, especially we got one more year of Satterfield at least, where I feel like it's going to be a proven year. The schedule looks rough. So it's not looking great unless we have a great portal haul. The next few months are going to be very important.
Yeah, and we do have that. Like we don't have that Nebraska game this year, so I'll run through the schedule real quick. That'll be a topic. We play Boston College at home. That will be a fun trip when we go to Boston College. I've never been to Boston. I'm excited for that.
Love Boston. Love it.
Yeah, I've heard great things. Good food town, historic. So looking forward to that. But next year we play Boston College at home, Western Carolina at home, Miami of Ohio at the Bengal Stadium. That's the last game I think we have with them. So then we have the 4 Big 12 home games next year instead of 5. We blew it this year. We play Utah at home. We play Texas Tech at home. Likely the 2 best teams in the conference. If you just want to look at history and recruiting and stuff like that, we likely have the 2 best teams in the conference at home. Colorado, that's a gimme. Deion sucks. Colorado sucks. Okay, Kansas State, you never know. I would like to think we should win that game. And then away, we have Arizona. Hard to tell. Maybe they just have a bunch of guys leaving. Feed is gone, but we probably lose that game. BYU, we're going to lose that game. Houston, they were good this year, but they're schedule merchants. Like I know our fans say we are, but Houston is too. So Iowa State away, they're always decent. That's probably a loss. West Virginia away. They're going to stink again, but can't Sharpie that right now, right? So
yeah, they kind of own us.
I think we could just for sure say we're going to win 4 or 5 games. Well,
yeah. Wow.
For sure say 4. Yeah, we have a lot of portal work to do, Niehaus. So we're going to be plugged in here. See if we can hold on to Sorsby. We know he's considering the NFL. And we've seen plenty of smoke on Twitter that he's being, and I know for a fact that Texas Tech's involved. So that would be interesting if he came to Nippert. But then, SEC, Miami of Florida rumors as well. So there's a pretty good chance that he's not here next year, which would be disappointing. But a lot to address in the portal, including maybe an entire new defense.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and you also just went full robot mode. So to recap, Lilly said Texas Tech, there's been rumored to be involved with Sorsby, and then they play at Nippert. So that would be something. And then you said Miami, Florida. So,
and SEC teams apparently, like LSU, I think is one. He's probably going to be one of the highest paid players in the sport, and rightfully so, in my opinion. But there are some UC fans out there that want him to go. I think you'll realize that's a mistake very quickly if you feel that way.
Yeah. Well, speaking of LSU, a quick rant before we go, because college football is a joke. The schedule is ridiculous. And the fact that we had a playoff team have their coach leave for another school is an abomination and embarrassing to the sport. And I don't blame Lane Kiffin at all. I don't blame him at all.
I do.
It's a system that's set up for him to be able to do it. Like the fact that that's part of it. I mean, even Rick Pitino said, he's like, can you imagine if I was a 1 seed going into March Madness and I just left? It's unbelievable. I mean, I spent 3 years in Mississippi covering Ole Miss. So, like, kind of hits home for me a little bit because I know the fans of that. I feel bad for the fans. Like, this is the best season they've ever had. And their coach leave before the playoff. Before their ability to make the championship, to win the championship, their coach is gone. It's a joke. You got to do something about it.
It's a tough one because they did switch the schedule this year. The calendar is different. The portal doesn't open till January. So, oh man, I'm sorry. Lane Kiffin's a slimy bitch, and it's his fault. The calendar is better, still not perfect, and I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, which is a little annoying because it's just the schools, the academics. These guys got to get back in school in January. They have to be enrolled. So I always try to think of ways to make it better, even though it's not going to be me that decides. But I feel like this new calendar is pretty close. And they do have, for teams in the playoff, the portal's a little different. But I don't know. Just LSU, the stuff they've done recently with, the Mel Tucker extension in Michigan State because they were flirting with him. And then a lot of these crazy extensions are simply because LSU's AD was a nut job. And now he leaves and they get Kiffin in. And they're trying to make it sound like Kiffin really wanted to stay. And his players are now saying like different things on Twitter today. It's bad for the sport, though. If you are in the postseason and your coach leaves, it minimizes the product. Like it says, my career matters more than this game, even though the players, the fans, this next Ole Miss game will be the biggest game. I'm not going to go look up Ole Miss's history. This will be the biggest game in
absolutely
ever, right? Or
there's
a
their
long
first
time.
Yeah. Ever.
And,
I mean, I think they have some paper natties, but like,
yeah, it's like
I don't know.
But then like Fickle shot down Notre Dame interest because we were in the playoff. Like, so this is why I'm saying Lane Kiffin's a slimy bitch. It's like, of course, he's the first one that has to be a douchebag about this new calendar that is improved and is better. And now the media is doing their whole thing about how the calendar needs to be better and stuff. It's like, this is the new calendar. This is better. Hopefully it's not a trend.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that it covers about everything. We went long. It's the shootout, though, so I think it's, well deserved. We have a massive game Friday night. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to be nervous leading up to it. Yep, exactly. Xavier can shoot. Cincinnati can't. I think that's the quick analysis.
And this is when we find out.
Yeah, that's the thing, Lily. It's like we got the shooters on the team. Like,
yeah,
I
they're
thought,
there.
they're there.
Missing.
Like, they're just not there. They're missing open shots.
Yeah.
So it would be a perfect game to change that narrative. But hey, we're gonna have more content for you. We're actually gonna have a Xavier Media member on the show later this week to break down like how Muskie fans feel about each individual player, kind of their season as a whole, and just previewing the whole game. So we'll have that, and then I think we'll have some other content for you guys as well. But then again, live show at Martino's Friday night, starting at 7:00. We'll have a watch party during the game, and then the post-game show after. All right, everybody, go Bearcats. Beat the Muskies. See ya.